Hey YouTube, Ryu here. And I'm sorry, I just got done with a massive laughing fit. Just went ahead and watched a video from Raging Golden Eagle, and I decided to go ahead and take a look into the situation at hand. And that is that Google is now under investigation for pay discrimination based off of gender. And now some people might go, oh God, here we go again. No, this is funny as fuck, especially given how Google's been going after all these other companies and been shooting down shit, demonetizing shit that's saying, oh, the pay gap isn't real, and that sort of thing. But now, what has me laughing so hard is Google was pushing results down to the bottom for a while there. They got busted doing it. That was disagreeing with the narrative. And Google, it's no secret, Google was very pro-Obama. They always, put positive shit up there. They put some negative shit up there just to make it seem. But if you really went down to the bottom of the list, it was just a whole bunch of against Obama stuff, and all the for Obama stuff was way up top. But here's the kicker. When I'm sitting here and looking at this, one of the main complaints against the Obama administration, as far as the Department of Labor was concerned, was that, the companies that they were targeting were sitting there and saying, hey, this is extremely invasive. You're asking for information that isn't even necessary for an audit. Why? No, we won't do this. And they were forced to do so. And Google, their stance on it was, well, what have you got to hide? Well, here we are. The Department of Labor. Now, this investigation was started under Obama's watch. This was not something that Trump brought up. Trump's not stopping it, but it wasn't something that was brought up as far as Trump is concerned. This is Obama. They're on the receiving end of the Obama shotgun. All right? They've been used to being the ones pulling the fucking trigger. And now here they are on the business end of the shotgun. And they're bitching and whining and pissing and moaning. Except for the fact that they're a little deeper in because they have governmental contracts. So that makes it required by law that they completely comply with the Department of Labor in any audit. And the Department of Labor is asking for, your pretty standard records. But what has Google running with its tail between its fucking legs is the fact that it's so they can go ahead and contact employees, both past and present, and interview them confidentially. So that means Google doesn't know who to fire. It means that Google wouldn't be able to make targets out of people. And that terrifies them because that means people can go ahead and be honest. And as we've seen over and over and over again with companies that bend a knee to the whole SJW cry bullies, and even the SJW cry bullies themselves, they are nothing but hypocritical. They, more often than not, in the vast majority of cases, and I'm saying vast, I'm talking above 60-40 ratios here. When you actually dig into them, you dig into their past, or you dig into the actions that they're currently taking, well, it's just like with male feminists. A lot of male feminists have been getting outed as quote-unquote closet perverts, or guys that are out there to take advantage of women specifically, take advantage of that trust to get the rocks off, that sort of thing. And so here we are, now Google's fighting tooth and nail. Google thinks it's bigger than the government. Good fucking luck. Because the thing is a lot of their major growth in power has been from these governmental contracts. And now the Department of Labor is saying, look, if you're not going to give us these records, you are in breach of contract. And they're calling for Google to lose all of those contracts. All of that money. That's billions upon billions of dollars just gone. And if that happens, then the government can sit there and look at Google and go, look, you're in breach of contract. Here's what we outlined in the punishments. So it's not just them losing the contracts. They could actually lose massive amounts of money. That's the danger of doing business with the government. You need to be absolutely certain that you are okay with everything that's in the bold and fine print. You have to make absolutely certain. Google thought it was going to be good because it thought that it's all like, oh, well, if we say the right things, then they're going to go. No. Because now they have to focus that psycho energy onto something, and they can't go after conservatives because now the limelight's on that. If the government starts targeting conservatives specifically, not only will Trump and his administration directly call it out and directly bring it to the people's attention, but then also on top of that, people are already paying attention, ready to pounce on it. Because the government has been proven to have a history of this. You remember when the IRS was sitting there and denying conservative groups? I think it's 401c3s. Basically, what it is I don't remember if that's exactly it. I've had a lot of numbers thrown at me, a lot of codes. But the thing is basically it's it's making them tax exempt. It's making them kind of a charity organization, basically a not-for-profit. And it was just so happening that whenever a conservative group would do this, one that was overtly conservative, all of a sudden the people trying to start it were being personally audited. Now, to a degree, when someone goes ahead to try to start one of those up, yeah, I agree. You should probably look into them, make sure they're not some sort of shyster and that sort of thing. But I'm talking about to the point of multiple audits, back to back to back. I mean, most people will get audited once, maybe twice in their lifetime, if that. But when you sit there and you get 4 audits over the course of a year and a half, directly targeted at your personal finances, your personal business, and then on top of that, having a quote-unquote investigation launched and perpetually stay going, basically running out the clock, so then you have to reapply again so they can start doing it to you all over again. Yeah. The government was doing that under Obama's watch. But the thing is now the government can't do that because those wounds are still wide the fuck open. They got called out on it, and if they go ahead and they do it again, heads will roll. There won't be any of that, oh, well, you know, you have to prove intent. No. The American people won't have that, and these government agencies know it. So they have to focus that psycho energy. So who are they going to go after? They're going to go after major conglomerates. I cannot think of a larger company than Google. And they are a massive target now. And the thing is the government did this based off of 2015. 2015, remember. Information where they found some real disparities across the board. So they're looking into it. They want to go ahead and get down to the bottom of it. And Google all of a sudden throwing all of its toys out of the pram, just like you see in situations like this, sitting there, and now, after Google was sitting there and saying, well, if you don't have anything to hide, you shouldn't be scared. All of a sudden, well, that's invasion of privacy. Fuck you, Google. Fuck you. You deserve every last bit of this. And the thing is Google has been untouchable by the public for so long because they have kept all of their contact information secret. How do you contact Google? You contact them by way of email, and then you have to rely on them to go ahead and get back to you. It's insanely difficult for people to press lawsuits against Google because of the fact that Google's office information is not readily on file. You have to go through a whole bunch of shit. Basically, your lawyer has to go to the government, put in a FOIA request for them to release that information to your lawyer so that they can file a suit. That is a big issue. So, here we are. Now Google's staring down that fucking shotgun, and they don't like it. Well, guess what? If you don't have anything to hide, give them the fucking records. What are you afraid of? What do you have to hide? If you weren't doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't be afraid. Or are you really absolutely terrified of the fact that people are going to find out that good guy Greg Google has really been sitting there fucking over its women harder than anyone else in the evil tech industry? After all of these things coming out where you're all like, oh yeah, women power, woo! Google, you need to suck the fattest of dicks, and guess what? Right now, you're staring down the government's dick. So open wide, put on the fucking lipstick, and get to sucking.